Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekly review of my M1 Finance dividend portfolio. Balance on my account is $305,660.42. So this means I have hit the $300,000 milestone. This feels so awesome. It was definitely a journey to get here. I did do some very controversial things, such as deplete my emergency fund to help this portfolio get to this balance, but I am so happy I did. I was doing some calculations on just my monthly expenses, which is about $5,000 a month. And I thought, wow, if I lost my job today, I could literally live off this portfolio for the next 5 years doing zero work. And the balance still wouldn't be zero because over that 5 year period, the portfolio would have earnings, right? So that's a really great feeling to be in that position. Again, if worst case scenario happens in life, that there is some level of security there for myself and my daughter. And wow, it's also the first time too that it has really sunk in that it's very possible for this portfolio to get to 500,000 in the next 2 years if I continue on the aggressive investing. If there's no major stock market pullback, if I don't lose my job, right? Like that job, that high income is pivotal, is the reason why this portfolio is the balance that it is. If those things can all work together, yes, it is realistic for it to be 500,000 in 2 years, but not trying to future think too much and just stay in the current moment and celebrate this. This is so awesome. I'm so excited and appreciate you all here joining me on this journey. I know a couple of you have been here for over a year and, remember when this portfolio, or more than over a year, remember when this portfolio was 20,000, 50,000, 60,000, right? And now I am at the $300,000 mark. So, wow, this is great. And in terms of what I plan to do for the rest of the year, I'm still going to invest every single week like I normally do, but I will be pulling back significantly in terms of the dollar amount that I put in, only because I did completely deplete my emergency fund and put all of that money in the portfolio. So I do want to rebuild that emergency fund back up. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when I talk about the deposits for the week. So again, balance on the account is $305,660.42. Let's look at the performance for the past week. Overall, the portfolio was up $2,413.38 or 0.80%. I have three holdings. The first is VU, which tracks the S&P 500. That was up 1.21% or $2,725.80. The next holding is SCHD, which is the Schwab US Dividend ETF. That was down 0.55% or $401.73. Again, SCHD continues to disappoint, but I'm not going to let her ruin the high that I have today over achieving 300K. So let's just move on quickly from her. My third holding is QQQM, which tracks the NASDAQ 100. That was up 2.19% or $89.31. Let's go ahead and look at the deposits for the past week. So this past week, on September 15th, I put in $300. Then later that day, I put in $200. And then later that day, I put in $3,000. Now, for everyone who watched my last video when I was talking about how much I get paid, if you do the math, this is more than what I would have gotten paid to actually put into the portfolio. So I did go ahead and take $3,000 from my emergency fund to invest in the portfolio because I just wanted to get it to 300,000, and I just know my money will work harder for me in the market than in a high yield savings account that's barely paying anything. So I did go ahead, pull from my emergency fund $3,000 and put it in the portfolio. So now my emergency fund, or my life fund, which I've renamed it, has $477.30 in it. So this is why I said going forward, I still will be depositing money every single week into this portfolio, but the amounts will be significantly less because I do need to save up some cash in my life fund. So for the week, if you add those numbers up, that's 3,500. I got one buy. It all went to VU, and I got 5.76 shares. And if we just look at the recap, you see here the portfolio started at a balance of $299,747.04. I put in $3,500 in cash, and then the market gain of $2,413.38 is what brings the balance to $305,660.42. All right, let's look at the funding. So this is just showing how much money I've put into the portfolio to date. And for 2025 so far, I've put in $70,800. If you're wondering how I got that amount, you have to take the $76,085 and minus $5,285 from it to get the actual amount that I put in. So still a pretty significant amount of money, $70,800. And again, I do plan to continue to invest in the portfolio from now through the end of the year. Am I going to get to 80,000? I don't think so, but you never know what's going to happen. And if we just look at the holdings, overall the portfolio is up 18.59% or $47,916.25. VU is up 21.61% or $40,566.73. SCHD is up 9.97% or $6,634.18. And QQQM is up 20.73% or $715.34. So QQQM she has just been doing well and just increasing in terms of return. So she's almost the same return or close to the same return as my VU position, which I know QQQM is very tech heavy and tech stocks have been booming recently. So that tracks and makes sense. But yeah, she's doing good. I know I was planning to sell her at some point this year. I might actually still sell her, but I'm not sure. I might keep her, even though it's a very small portion of my portfolio. All right, so that is everything for this week. That's the major news. 300K. This is great. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out, but what an awesome milestone to hit. That's all of the updates for this week, and I'll